Hello, everybody. This is the Chocolate News Podcast, and I'm your co-host, John Alexander Reese.
And I am your co-host, Andria Carter.
And if you didn't know, the Cincinnati Herald has been around since 1955 and is the leading African-American owned newspaper in the greater Cincinnati area and northern Kentucky area. So, how's it going, Andrea?
It's going great, John. It's been an interesting week, and it's just a little busy. Life just, I'm rush here and there, but overall it's been wonderful. It's been pretty good. So
That's good to hear because today was strangely really warm. I'm not complaining. I loved it, but it's just really strange for February.
I'm just like, it is February. I was like, I had the air conditioning on in my car. I was like, because I got hot. And I was like, okay, this is weird because I walked out and I had a jacket and I was like, I don't need a jacket. I don't need this, I was like,
Yeah.
but and then on Friday it's gonna be 35. It's so weird.
Madness.
But I just think Mother Nature is setting us up for something.
Right.
It's gonna happen. I'm like, long as it happens after the first week of March, I don't care. So
Right. Gotcha. So, Andrea, what is the chocolate news of the week?
well, I'm gonna start off with what tugged on our heartstrings this weekend. The Cincinnati Herald daddy daughter dance.
Yes.
It
Precious.
was so wonderful to see all the fathers who brought their daughters out and all of the dresses the girls. I mean, it was a fashion parade. I was like, look at the shoes, look at the dress. Oh my God, look at the hair. I mean, you had kids dressed up from princess, the what I call the gown princess dresses with the
Yes.
tiaras. Some came with tiaras, some got tiaras. The energy on the dance floor. I was tired just looking at them the way they were going.
I mean, you know what? All the girls and the dads, they seem like they were having a good time. So that was good to see.
It was, I mean, it was good to see. I'm glad, we hosted it. It was a wonderful affair. I think the fathers appreciated it. And hopefully we'll see, and it was a nice event for both the fathers and daughters. And you knew some of the fathers who were slinking off early, you could just tell it was either bedtime or the game was about to come on.
Yeah.
So those were the early people who left first. And
Right.
then everyone else, I mean, a whole bunch stayed until the balloon drop, which was fabulous in itself too. So, and everyone was
Yes.
playing with balloons and just playing in the air, batting it back and forth and everything. It was a fantastic time.
It
So
was. And folks, if you want to see any of the videos and photos we got from the dance, because we do have a bunch of photos and videos, just make sure to check out our website, check out our social media, Facebook, YouTube channel, the Herald TV. Just check out all of that and just see the highlights from the dance.
it was that was the best thing that happened this weekend. Well, that was the first best thing that happened this past weekend. Then it was the Super Bowl.
Oh, yes.
How do I say this? Even though, I mean, Twitter was a goss of either she underperformed or she overperformed, but she did all her hits. I mean, after a 7-year drought, come on, it was Riri.
Yes.
Um, but the fact that she was suspended in air and pregnant,
I didn't
that
know she was
was
pregnant.
that was. I mean, I was like everyone else looking at the screen was like, did she have that kid? Usually, the stomach drops. It's like, why is her stomach? She just had the kid dying. Oh, it was an oops. That kid was an oops moment, right?
Yeah.
That was an oops moment because I've never been pregnant, but I am very much aware that once a woman has a child, they are very fertile for several months afterwards,
Mm,
where you have to be careful if
yeah.
you don't want another one right away.
Right.
Obviously, they did not think about things.
Yeah. Young and in love.
Oh yes, and it was it, but I mean, the girl performed, and
Oh,
she
yeah.
walked those platforms, and And what was really impressive, which a lot of business articles were impressed by, the fact that she promoted Fenty, her makeup line, on the air while while performing. She stopped and did her nose and put up her blush and everything. I was like, go ahead. According to one article, the searches for the Fenty makeup went up 833%.
Ooh, go girl.
I was like, yeah. What better way to not have to pay for an ad?
Exactly. I mean, that's why, that's why I guess that, that's why she did it, because they don't get paid doing the Super Bowl for the halftime show. It's like it's free advertisement for a makeup brand. So Rihanna's so smart.
Wait, they don't get paid?
No, they don't get paid to do the Super Bowl. They just do it for the exposure.
Well,
Yeah, that's been a thing. It's like the Super Bowl halftime performers, they don't get paid.
wow. But
Yeah.
with exposure, 24, 30, whatever many people watching the Super Bowl, I would go for it. But I think it was I read some of the articles behind the scenes about how they put that stage together to protect the grass and at the same time be innovative and different from everything else they've had before. I mean, think about that. Those platforms were moving up and down. She was going up in the air, down in the air, up in the air, down in the air. And I'm like, how did they do that? And they used the pulley system that was there for the cameras. And they just augmented that and helped them do the platforms, which, and they had to break it down, put it up in 7.5 minutes, and then break it down again in 7.5 minutes.
I know it's remarkable. I had the privilege of seeing Rihanna back in 2016. She was amazing back then. She's still amazing now. So all I gotta say is like definitely worth the wait.
Oh yeah, it was worth the wait, and hopefully, though, a lot of people on Twitter were saying, "Dang, we're not getting an album now." I was like, she can sing and be pregnant at the same time. I mean,
Yeah,
something may come out. I think the fact that she did the Super Bowl says that she's about ready to get back on the road and be the singer that everyone knows her to be, while being this businesswoman behind the scenes. So
right.
I ain't mad at her. I mean, she's doing it.
Oh yeah.
I think she did incredible. And also, let's just take a moment and compliment both the Chiefs and the Eagles for a wonderful game.
Oh yeah.
Even though and I think it's a compliment the fact that they won on a field goal,
Yeah.
and that the Eagles held them, that the only thing they could do was do a field goal. And
Right.
I think that's fantastic, especially since it's Andy Reid's old team fighting against him for the Super Bowl prize. I thought that was ironic, really.
Yeah.
So,
Oh
and
yeah.
do you think he's going to retire now?
Possibly. Not sure.
We'll see. He might have one more in him. Who
Yeah,
knows?
maybe possibly.
Well, I mean, but then again, I mean, those were the daddy daughter dance, the Super Bowl. Those were the highlights of the weekend of what happened. But again, there is some pain that we've had this week as well. One, that we here in Cincinnati, they're watching the water levels due to that chemical. Let's put it like this: there was a train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, along the Ohio River, and so now they're looking for chemical contamination in the water. And so so far there's some up in near East Palestine, but they're afraid it's going to trickle down to here. So far, they have not seen anything. No levels have been detected down in Cincinnati, which is our water's pretty safe. But that train derailment happened about a week ago,
Yeah.
and it's just now everyone is just now starting to pay attention to it because of the intensity and the chemicals involved in that train accident. So I think that we just have to continue to watch, be wary, and just be aware of what's going in our water. And I won't say stock up, but just be aware that
Yeah. Yeah. I would probably drink some bottled water for a little bit just to be safe. But you know what? If you have a filter though, that would probably do it
yeah,
also.
I probably need to. Well, I have the Brita water pitcher,
Right.
And I probably need to buy this. This is probably a good time to go buy a new filter for my water pitcher.
Yeah.
And then, and I drink Pellegrino because I don't drink soda too much anymore. So,
Hmm.
that is that. But so that's going on. And then I would say that the other tragedy, well, no, we've had a couple of local tragedies. And what I'll do is I'll start with today. Cincinnati had a murder suicide of an older couple lived on Section Road in Roselawn. An 82-year-old man shot his 74-year-old wife before killing himself.
So
Um,
sad.
it is so sad to see that happen. We're still waiting on details on this, and it's just sad when you hear about a murder suicide, because there was another one, what, 2-3 weeks ago in Avondale,
Yeah.
where a son killed his mother and two brothers, or no, a brother. And it's just so sad that, someone decides to do that and take people with them. And
Yeah.
it's just horrifying. I don't understand that reasoning. I just don't.
Yeah.
I believe, I've been accused of being a true optimist on things, and I'm just like, well, life is hard, but don't take a way out you can't come back from.
Yeah.
And I think that's so sad that someone does that. I just, gonna keep this family in my prayers, and because it's so sad that now they have to plan a funeral for two people, instead of trying to see what else they could have done to prevent this. So,
Yeah.
also, another interesting that happened today was the man who surprised the world when he killed the 10 individuals in the Buffalo supermarket last year. Peyton Grindon, he was sentenced to life in prison today for that massacre. And he did read an apology and things like that, but he will never be free again.
Good.
So it's kind of sad. He believed in something and took a wrong turn. He was a racist and everything else. So he thought things were bad before. He's to find out now how bad life really can be in prison.
Oh
So,
yeah. Yeah. He
so
effed around and now he's gonna find out.
oh, he's gonna find out the hard way.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately. And then the I think the final thing that occurred with the news is that, unfortunately, while we have conclusion of one massacre, we witnessed another massacre on at Michigan State.
Yeah.
A 40-year-old man, black man, walked into the campus and shot and killed 3 people and injured another 5. I have not heard anyone else dying from that. So I believe it's just the 3 that got killed. I think they're still trying to figure out why he did what he did, but they did find out that he had a note or a list of where he wanted to go to Ewing, New Jersey, and attack 2 schools in Ewing. And Ewing, New Jersey is a small little suburb of a town.
Right.
I lived in Trenton, New Jersey. Ewing is like right next door. It's a hop, skip, and jump from Trenton.
Mm.
So I mean, it's not, and it's a suburb. It's a bedroom community. I mean, it has good homes, moderate lifestyle. Things are close to it. It's kind of like the ideal suburban life that you want in Ewing, New Jersey, with a good education.
Mm.
And the fact that this guy, 40 years old, from Michigan, or if he was from Michigan, wanted to go there and do something. And they just, what that driving factor was, nobody knows. Nobody knows. So we're still learning who this guy is. Well, no, that we know who he is, but why what he did is
Yeah.
still unknown. So this country needs to get it together. This is going to continue to be a thing that we're getting used to.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get used to watching in the middle of the night, a disturbance like this.
Yeah.
And, you go from watching emergency vehicles and you hear about the students sheltering in place and whether on campus or not in campus and being, it's just unreal. Universities and schools should be a safe haven from danger
It really
for
should. Just
kids.
like churches. Those two should definitely be a safe haven.
Yes, they should be. And I'm like, when did that become a thing? What was decided that, okay, we'll just go here and do it. So, I mean, it's just sad.
Yeah.
But that is the chocolate news for today.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Andrea. As always, thank you for coming on and spreading all the chocolate news. It's always greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, there are a number of issues that are pending that should be of concern to the Black community. We're just going to have to update more stories and have a unique discussion on, we're update on COVID and other viruses that might be threatening. And there's a talk about environmental racism now. And the Jim Crow might be trying to make a comeback in Mississippi. And so we'll be talking more about things that are happening in America. And we'll just move forward. But it was my pleasure to bring it to you.
Yeah. All right, folks. You can find out more information about today's topics and past podcast episodes at www.thecincinnatiherald.com, the Sesh newsletter, or on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And make sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast app. Our podcast is on Apple, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Amazon, YouTube, and Google Podcasts. In addition, the Cincinnati Herald is now looking for news distribution and delivery agents. Please contact our publisher, Walter White, at 513-680-7076 for more information. I'm John Alexander Reese.
And I'm Andria Carter.
And have a good day.